Kind of crazy weather again today, and it actually feels pretty cold at times too. Let's see if it warms up as the sunlight's coming out. And what did I read today? How about this one? I guess in terms of officials using drones to bust, people dealing drugs. This one says UK's HMS Lancaster uses new drone system in first drug seizure of 2025. As it says here, the International Combined Task Force 150 is continuing with efforts to tackle illicit activities in the waters of the Middle East. The task force, which is currently under the command of New Zealand, reported the seizure of a total of 318 kilograms of heroin and 83 kilograms conducted by the Royal Navy's frigate HMS Lancaster. The Royal Navy highlights that its illicit activity was first detected by its new Peregrine remote-controlled mini helicopters while the frigate was on its patrol. The operators of one of the drones detected suspicious activity during a night flight when they saw two boats side by side in the Arabian Sea. This prompted the launch of the frigate's Wildcat helicopter for further investigation. The crews observed packages being transferred between a small craft and a dhow. The frigate made its way to the location at full speed while the team waited for daybreak. Looks like a pretty sophisticated operation too, just based on the photos and stuff. It says the Royal Navy highlights that Lancaster's capabilities in fighting smugglers and drug runners were enhanced through the uncrewed Peregrine Air System, which was only introduced into operations at the end of 2024. The Peregrine is the first remotely piloted helicopter operated by the Royal Navy. At just 3 meters long, the drone is capable of sorties lasting up to 5 hours and is suited for long and demanding surveillance missions. It's kind of interesting, like in that regards, on whether or not these were actually built from ground up, or did they just modify helicopters to be quote drones, which has actually been done for a lot of drone delivery vehicles, for example, like certain helicopters, they just modified it. But either way, more officials using it to go after, criminals, you could say. And more news, with larger drones. How about this one, where apparently China announced a 1-ton payload cargo drone, which had its maiden flight, successfully. As it says here, China's TP1000, the country's first large unmanned transport aircraft capable of carrying 1-ton payload, successfully completed its maiden flight in East China's Shandong province on Saturday, China Media Group reported. Developed under Chinese civil aviation standards, the TP1000 has a maximum takeoff weight of 3.3 tons and can transport 1,000 kilograms over a range of 1,000 kilometers. Equipped with an intelligent airdrop system for emergency relief operations, it is expected to enter commercial service by 2026. So coming really soon. And again, China is one of those places that are excelling, you could say, in terms of drone tech and all that, especially with consumer drones, as most people do use Chinese-made drones. And this was kind of crazy news, but expected, where one of the largest and oldest retailers here in Canada, called the Hudson Bay Company, is doing really bad, as they might shut down their doors by the sounds of it anyways. And it even says here, Hudson's Bay to liquidate entire business, still seeking additional capital. Despite holding out hope it can avoid a full shutdown, Hudson's Bay says it's planning on immediate liquidation that would begin next week and wrap up in June. In a late Friday announcement, Canada's oldest company said it couldn't secure the necessary financing to keep at least some of its empire alive. A closure of the entire business, which is planned pending a court appearance set for Monday, and they say there's 9,364 employees. Though the situation looks bleak, the company said it remains optimistic it can drum up capital and find a solution with key stakeholders, particularly its landlord partners, to avoid a full shutdown. And according to this too, how do you lose that much money continuously? It says here, the filings show the company owes more than $950 million to 26 pages worth of listed creditors, landlords, suppliers, and other partners, including fashion heavyweights Ralph Lauren, Chanel, Columbia Sportswear, Diesel, and Estée Lauder. Even when I go to those stores, I'm actually surprised they're still in business, because it seems like there's so much people working there. It looks really fancy, but no one actually goes to the shop by the looks of it. And as well, my recent visits in those stores, things like the elevators were down for months, for example. So I'm not surprised, overall. Maybe I'll drop by the store a little later. You guys can see what it looks like anyways. Alright, see you guys later.